What's up, dudes? Max here, and welcome back to the Dragon Ball FighterZ breakdown. Today, focusing on the final character that is available for the first season of DLC in Dragon Ball FighterZ, Android 17.
Take better care of the plants around you, or become the fertilizer that feeds them. The choice is yours.
When the final DLC was announced for Dragon Ball FighterZ, including Cooler and Android 17, you better believe most of my attention and excitement went directly towards Cooler, who was easily one of my most anticipated characters in the game. But believe it or not, through further inspection and playing with Android 17 over the past few hours or so, I am shocked by how much fun this character is to play, the options available to him, and how cool some of the combos look. So let's get this thing started. Now let's start off with some normal attacks. Android 17 does have a crouching light attack, so this means you can rapid fire it and go into full combo. This is one of the things that is defining good characters in this game, and it's good to know that Android 17 does have it. The same can't be said for his crouching medium attack. Usually characters get slides in some ways, but he does not. However, this is made up for his down forward crouching heavy attack, which pretty much acts like a slide. This thing hits from mid-screen really damn far, and you can get to full combo with it. So I highly recommend you fish this move out quite a bit because you can make it safe. Outside of that, a decent ranged rushing forward medium attack that can lead to full combo is not bad either. And 17's key attacks are pretty good. The grounded key attack is, like most characters, can lead into full combo as well, so you'll be spending some meter on this every once in a while. And the jumping key attack is similar to many other characters, but it cannot be changed in direction. It goes in this very specific direction. That's pretty much all you get out of it. Now let's talk about auto combos. Sadly, 17's auto combos aren't amazing. The light auto combo does knock them to the ground, and then you fly up in the air. It is possible to get some easy damage off of this if you do a vanish attack, and then send them flying back down. But for the most part, his auto combo isn't reliable like many other characters in the game, so you won't be seeing a lot of this. However, his medium auto combo is not bad because it's going to lead you through a full string of one of his specials into super, and actually does kind of decent damage. But Android 17's special moves are where he really shines, and the character gets a lot of his identity. The character shares two different specials that sort of complement each other. There's Axel Driver and Finishing Driver. By simply pressing the button over and over, you'll get 4 attacks on Excel Driver, and the same thing goes for Finishing Driver. However, you can control this move. If we do the regular attack, you just get 1 punch. Pressing the neutral button after gives you top gear. Pressing forward with a button gives you an overhead called second gear. Pressing down with a button gives you low gear. And pressing back with a button gives you fake out gear. What's interesting to note is that you get 4 actions in total with this, so you can go into any of these at any given time. You don't like the fact that your combo string begins with an overhead? Well, you can actually make the low go first. You can also end the combo by pressing the key button, and you'll get a barrier attack. The barrier will then go into a counter hit state, which you can't get an easy combo after, but you can put assists. And you could also end 17's Rekkas by doing down with the special button at the end of your combos. This gives 17 an attack called Power Blitz Charge, and if you want to discharge it, you can press down with the attack buttons. You can charge this up normally without it, and do the attack regularly in combo. If you want to use meter on the Rekkas, you can actually do so with mid-combo by pressing the heavy attack. This sets up for a similar state where you counter into the wall bounce. It's hard to get a combo after because it does require an action of your Rekkas, but it is possible. The big thing to remember is how many actions have you used during your forward Rekka and the backward Rekka? Did you use the overhead? Did you still use the low? Is there a neutral attack somewhere in there? That's one key thing to playing this character, which is going to take a little while to get used to. The EX versions of the Rekka are also interesting, as both of them go behind the opponent. However, there is a travel period for this, so you really need to be ready. However, if you happen to land a combo after the EX Rekka, the damage will significantly be reduced. And the last big part of 17's game plan is Acrobatic Assault. This move will send 17 either rushing forward or backwards across the wall. This is very similar to Black Panther in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, but you cannot interrupt certain portions of it until he hits the wall. This move can also be executed in the air, so if you want to set up for some mix-ups during mid-air combo, it is indeed possible. But the interesting thing to note, there is a bit of recovery on this attack, so you won't be able to immediately go for crouching low attacks as soon as you hit the ground. The acrobatic assault can also be done mid-combo during the Rekka, so if you hold forward or back with the key attack button, you can bounce forward and back through the screen. An interesting thing to note with the Rekka combos is also that you can combo both of them together. If you do the straight one, however, you can only get the straight one. You can't directly combo into the back because there's just not enough hit stun. But if you start with the backwards Rekka, which doesn't combo naturally, you can get some pretty huge combos. 17 also has a healthy collection of supers that can be done in the air and the ground, giving him an element of utility that some better characters in the game usually have. Endgame is a cinematic super that does decent damage but is only executable on the ground. The biggest problem with this is that it switches the side of the opponent, so if you do it against your opponent in the corner, you are sacrificing the corner. However, the aerial version of this move is called Barrier Explosion and is indeed a completely different attack. This one keeps the opponent on the same side of the screen, so if you want to end your combos in the corner, it might be better to go for this one instead. And finally, the level 3 is Super Electric Strike. This one isn't incredibly cinematic, but looks very cool, and does end in a hard knockdown like most level 3s, but if you're too far up in the air, it will not end in a hard knockdown.
Try this.
And that about does it for Android 17. Most of the combo options available to him are different from many other characters in the game. While he does excel on the ground, there is several stuff in the air that you can do to get good damage still, so it does seem like he's kind of similar to other characters like Yamcha, but 17 is a lot more effective in some ways, much because he has some of that top-tier sugar that most characters do have, a rapid low light attack that is indeed a low and you can hit confirm into, and several other buttons that are really good on the ground, not to mention supers that also have utility in the air and the ground. There's going to be a very interesting future for this character, especially if you're looking for someone that's going to be really good. As always, dudes, thank you a ton for watching. Appreciate any feedback on the video. If you can possibly leave me a thumbs up, and I'm going to leave you with some Android 17 combos that I was able to figure out that leave this character with some of the most ridiculous damage in the game.
Playtime, so it's your best. Let's go. Take it over here. You wide open. There you go. Let's see how you handle me now. I didn't think it was this one. Alright, let's go. Take it over here. You want how much? Handle this. Take it over here. You want, let's go. Take it over here. You want, feel free to help me out. Try this. Extreme! Let's go. Take it over here. You want, handle this. Take it over here. You want, let's go. How about this? Let's go. You're done for. You're strong. Say your prayers. You make me stronger. I hope you're ready. I didn't think you were this strong. You know, it's not like I've been sitting on my butt this whole time.
Android 17!